Eric, my dude, how are you, mate?
Hey, I got a whiskey, just having a great night here, talking to some friends. How are you doing, Browny?
I got a fucking water, so I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, dude. Look, mate, we're jumping into this straight away. Let's have some fun. I Prevail back with album number four, Violent Nature. It's been a journey to get to where we are here. Obviously, this album cycle and the way of launching this album is completely different to anything you've done in the past. Take us through how I Prevail are approaching this one.
We started demoing stuff on the road, which is the first time we've done writing on the road, and had a blast doing that. Being able to create flex that creative muscle early on in the process. Obviously, there's been some changes, and having to figure that out, and while figuring that out, and also trying to keep the I Prevail sound as what I Prevail is and what people have come to know I Prevail. And we really focused on the down the middle of the road songs with the choruses and the breakdowns, making sure that each chorus was a 10 out of 10 before we shipped it off. And on the heavier end, we try not to, when we do heavy stuff on records, we try not to oversaturate the record with just heavy songs. If we're going to do it, we're going to do something specific and in a certain vein, and not, if we do two or three heavy songs, we don't want them to mesh together. So there's a couple check marks, or a checklist, I should say, rather, of this record of things that we were trying to accomplish, and I feel very good that if we didn't check them all off, we checked damn near every one off.
It's good. I'm glad you said that too, because I did question, given, the circumstances and what's happened with I Prevail, if you would go in a completely different direction. But
Mm,
taking a listen to this album, it's I Prevail through and through. It's got the blueprint
mm.
of the band, and given the changes within the band, you stepping up with the cleans is something that I never thought that would either A happen with the band or B that I would be fucking swooning over, Eric. Where has this been hiding? You've obviously had this in you with your performance and your vocals in the past, but was it a daunting thing to step up and show people that beautiful voice of yours?
I wouldn't say it was daunting. It was, in the past, I said this in another interview, but if you would have told me 13 years ago, or even back when I was in local bands and death metal bands and stuff, that I'd be singing ballads in front of, a bunch of people, no fucking way. Would not have believed you. But over the past, half decade or so, maybe a little longer, whether it was vocal injuries or other um, issues that potentially would have halted shows, and just had to figure it out. And between me and Dylan, our guitarist, who also sings live, it's like, well, shit, we have this whole tour to go. We got to figure it out. We just got to figure it out. And in the past, Dylan took, what's 85, 90% of the lifting. But there's parts that, back in the day where he's playing and can't sing the part. So I just, well, I got to figure it out. I got to figure it out. And, in Trauma and True Power, I sang a little bit on, harmonies or little verse sections here or there. But yeah, this was the first time of just belting out choruses and doing the thing. And as I've said in the past, it was singing is mostly just being confident, and to have the guys in the band that I have on the other side of the vocal booth, we come up with a vocal melody, a music bed, and all right, go see what happens, and hop it in there with some scratch lyrics, just to sing something to see if it fits. Knowing that if I hit a sour note or a flat note or whatever, if I stepped out of the vocal booth, I wasn't going to have people like dodging me or avoiding eye contact. I knew that if I had a bad run in there, that they had my back, and they were, hey, dude, check it off, hop back in there, you're good, you're good. That was a huge component of finding my voice, and I'm not saying that I found it and I mastered it by any means, but to be in a position where you're just like, well, shit, we got to figure this out. We can't stop. Let's see what we can do. a lot of sink or swim. And have the guys that I have, you know, encouraging me and knowing that they weren't going to be back there like, oh shit, you know, scratching their head, going, "What do we do?" That was a huge foundation I could build myself up on, and so I'm super grateful to have these guys with me.
Good, and I'm glad that you prevailed through, pun intended there,
I
because
was gonna say.
Into Hell has now moved its way to my top melodic I Prevail song. I'm addicted, man. I went, like I said before, I went to a wedding last night and was listening to the album before the interview, and I can't stop hitting replay on it. It is such a beautiful love
Oh,
song,
thank
and it
you.
really showcases, the diversity of your screams, which we've come to know you for. But also, if you're presenting this as a song that you've done that the band encouraged you to do and you're a bit worried about, you fucking top marks, man. Well done. Tell us about this song.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that song was that, that song was one of the songs that the guys just let me take steer the ship on, and like lyrically and yeah, it's kind of just goes over a relationship where your partner may be dealing with something very difficult and very hard and challenging, and loving that person through all of that. And you know, because both sides, you know, in a relationship, both sides aren't perfect and have their baggage, if you will. um but sometimes that can be uh a great weight, or a hard burden for that one person to bear. And when you love someone, like, you would do anything for them. You would do whatever you could to bear that burden yourself. And that's kind of where that song kind of stemmed from, with the relationship, me and my fiance. And yeah, so that song's for her. And you know, grateful for the guys that saw my vision and helped me um, take it home. And so thank you so much for saying that. It was one of the songs that it was near the end of the record. We were wrapping it up. We wanted to write a couple more songs, just to take shots at the track list, and this one kind of started getting legs and walking on its own. And like, oh, cool! This is a cool vibe for the record. And once it got done and sent the record to the label, they were like, "Yeah, we want this one to be one of the singles." Like, no, what? So it was it's crazy, man. It's crazy that a song that was just like, yeah, I want to put this out there, and I kind of want to get this off my chest. I've been, you know, thinking about this a lot, and want to write something like this. And for everyone else around that's involved to be like, yeah, this should be a single. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So thank you for saying that, man. That's
No,
awesome.
absolute pleasure. I'm glad that you stuck to it too, because it's always those songs that you're not too sure about that always end up being
Hmm.
the ones that go on to be, the great things that you guys have put out over the years. And taking a look at the release strategy for this, obviously with the changes that happened and you coming back, you divided the fan base, as I said when I wrote that first article, with Violent Nature, which was aggressive. It was heavy as fuck. It
Hmm.
threw back to, Body Bag and some of the heavier songs on the back catalogue. But then to
Hmm.
follow it up with Into Hell, it kind of encompassed like I Prevail are a heavy band that do melodic stuff, but then you do melodic shit so fucking well. Was that intentional to come swinging out the gates and go, here's two perfect examples of what this band are going into this next phase?
100%. I mean, in the last couple of records, we've done that, where we put out the heavy song, and then the rock or softer song, and then one after that that's kind of like down the middle. And this time around, I think it set itself up perfectly, where I think people were like, well, they're just going to be a heavy band. Here we go. Let's see what happens. And like, I'll be honest, like, Violent Nature isn't this immense, like, crazy lyrically written song where there's just so much to dive into and digest. It's a shut your brain up and run through the fucking brick wall. That's the whole. It's just a vibe. It's just heavy. And so when I love when people are like, "Oh, the lyricism's gone. The melodic nature's gone. There's gonna be dumb deathcore, wannabe metalcore, whatever the dum dums called it." but then we turn around and drop into hell where it's no screaming. I mean, there's some layers in the bridge, but I mean, it's just a melodic love song, and you go from a melodic love song to shut the fuck up and run through a brick wall energy. The next one was somewhere in the middle, where it's a little more meaning to the lyrics, a little more something to digest, but there's the melodic, a big chorus, and then a breakdown. I mean, we've always kind of done it that way. And if you've ever listened to the band, since 2018, 19, and you still are talking shit going, oh, I don't get it, then you weren't paying attention. But yeah, it's fun to release these songs in the way we did and know what's to come on the record. It's just scratching the surface of, there's some other heavy songs, there's some more melodic songs, and then there's some stuff that's just like either down the middle or a little bit on the outskirts of what you've come to know I Prevail. But I'd like to think that out of these 10 songs, we found a way to make each one sound like it came from the heart of I Prevail.
And that in particular, when you are talking about the heart of I Prevail and the melodic songs you've done in the past, songs like Pray and Crimson and Clover are like
Mm.
chef's kiss. But then you go down to God, and God's just like, fuck. That's what I was kind of waiting from the band. I Prevail could do a metalcore, deathcore album, and the metalheads would still appreciate it and rip it apart. But then you could do a melodic album to follow it up. Like, that's an idea in future. Do a double album.
I joked about this. I gotta find the interview. This is years ago that they're like, "What's the future of I Prevail?" I was like, "Death metal country," and
Yes!
and I joked. They thought I was joking, but here we are putting uh, death deathcore tropes in I Prevail songs. I mean, God is just one breakdown. The whole point of that song was just like, let's just write one breakdown after the next after the next. It's going to be a live song. It's
Good,
uh,
great.
yeah, it's just like when we were working on it, we're like, all right, what's next? Well, we did that. What would complement the next part? What would be complementary to the next part? Like, we weren't trying to do anything groundbreaking by any means. It was just a fun song that's just pure aggression. And if you think the lyricism's whack or corny, whatever. That's not what it was for. It's I had something to say, and I wanted bone crushing breakdowns. What it's not supposed to be the top echelon of songwriting. It's supposed to be gut feeling, just heavy, fuck you, fuck off energy.
That's that. That's the perfect way to encapsulate it, dude. Like, when I first heard it, I was like, okay, Violent Nature was probably the heaviest thing you've done in quite a bit of time. Then to hear God, like, I can't wait to see the reactions of this one. People are going to lose their shit, especially in that live setting.
Oh yeah, that's honestly what one of the things we'd never really wrote a song and thought like, okay, live, we should do this because live it'll do that. But this time around was the first time that, and I'll give credit to John, he's written a few songs in Trauma and True Power with us, and co-wrote a few songs. But now that he's been touring with us, he's our full-time bassist and keys, and then he played these shows with us and then started writing with us again. To be able to sit in a room and go, okay, we're going for this, but I would love a moment where, in the past we've had songs that got like a circle pit part, but by the time we get the circle pit going, it comes into a chorus, and it's not really a circle pit part anymore. Or a song like Choke. Choke, we have a song where it's very jump, 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 and then when the verse comes in, it doesn't have that same energy anymore. It's kind of like a sit back and bang your head until the chorus comes in. So this time around, we put a little bit of extra thought into like how can we make these songs the best live moments as well. Let's do what we've done in the past, write the best songs we can, but how can we sprinkle and incorporate a live moment? Like Violent Nature was one of those where my goal was, I won't say goal. It was yeah, fuck it, we'll say goal. It was a goal of the band to how few shows can we play before I don't have to sing that first Violent Nature anymore? how many shows will it take for me to just be able to hold the mic out for that part and have the crowd scream that part? Those are the kind of the moments that we were like looking for while we were writing the record. And God was one of those that was like the whole time was just like, wow, you can picture them doing this, right? You can picture the crowd
Yeah.
doing this, right? Yeah. So
No, it's worked well, and like the collection of songs you've got on this is a perfect encapsulation of where the band is and where you're heading forward into the future. Talking about those live shows, the last time we spoke, you were fangirling over the fact that you get to tour with Winston and Parkway Drive, which was exceptional. You got to have the home ground advantage when you did the Summer of Loud tour with them. How's your respect for the band now? Did you keep the fangirling at bay?
oh dude, I tried so hard. I I love that band, dude. I love that band, and I told them all straight to their face that I fucking love their band. Caleb from Beartooth and I were outside stage for almost every band every day. I will give it to him. I think he saw a few more steps than I did. But me and him were out either at front of house or side stage. And if I was out to go watch a band, I could count that I was like, yeah, I'll probably run into Caleb. I'm good. I'll just walk over there by myself. I'll run into him. But so to watch Parkway Drive every night was a fucking dream come true after Australia. And then we had Summer Allowed where I got to watch them every fucking night again. They just put on a clinic, man. They put on a phenomenal show where me as a vocalist and a frontman, I just watch and I'm just a sponge. I'm just like, okay, that made me feel this type of way. I looked at him and I'm like, oh my God, he looks like a god right now. Like, how can I put that through the I Prevail filter? How can I emulate and have my own moment like that? How can my band achieve that same feeling without ripping them off and doing the same thing? But that whole tour, I was surrounded by legendary musician after legendary musician after legendary band and band and band. So that whole tour is just me watching and going, how can I make our show better? How can I take that feeling that they're giving me, and how can I make our fans feel that? How do I do that for my own? And yeah, just I've learned so much watching those guys, especially Parkway Drive. And they're the nicest humans ever. They are
They
hands
are.
down some
They're
of them.
sweethearts. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah,
There's no one in this scene like them.
no, absolutely. And if anyone said they were dickheads, I'd beat the shit out of them. Like, straight.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck off, man. They're the nicest people ever, and their music is undeniable.
Well, look, if you're anything like Parkway Drive in your future, I Prevail has a big future ahead of you guys. Now, as we wrap things up, prevailing is something that's synonymous with this band. You have overcome obstacle after obstacle, adversity so many times in your career. What would you say is the biggest discovery about your personal growth as a musician or a
Mm.
human being? And what advice would you pass on to fans who are struggling to find that light at the end of the tunnel?
Oh man, that's a great question. Um, I I think one of the biggest things that I've learned is that nothing lasts forever, whether it's a good or bad thing. If it's a good thing that's going on, soak it up, enjoy it, remember where you're at, take pictures, live in that moment and enjoy it because who knows when it's coming back around. And the same goes for the other end where, you're going through it. I've just recently been digging out of, my own hole. And what's gotten me through that is trying to remember that nothing lasts forever. There's always that light, as cheesy as it is. There's always that light at the end of the tunnel. And you wouldn't appreciate the highs if it wasn't for the lows and all that corny stuff. But it truly is. It's the truth. So quoting Parkway Drive loosely, they had a song. I think it was on Atlas that I've been drinking my whiskey, so I can't remember it perfected. But it's something along the lines of coal pressure turns coal into diamonds, and it's on you to see the challenges you're going through and to see how you can make that turn that lesson into internally and make yourself a better person or a better artist, or use that. How to use that. And not to drag our own band back into it, but that's where Trauma and True Power got the titles from. Trauma was all about things that we as a band and personally I was going through, and True Power was the realization of looking back and going, living through that and learning and finding ways to not cope but to grow from those hardships was our strength and was our own power to learn from that. So I guess that's just a long-winded answer for anyone that's struggling is try to it's tough in the moment, but try to see it as a challenge of how can this make you a better person, because it's not going to last forever no matter what you're going through. It may be a long time, but it's not going to be forever, and soon you'll hit that peak and you'll have that hardship that you went through to make you a better person. And it's on you to figure that out, but when you do, it's nothing greater than to look back and go, I did that shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's how you do it right there. And what you're saying is great. Trauma turns into true power, and then you fuck shit up with your violent nature and take life by the balls and just rip it apart. The brand new album hits your ear holes on September 19th through Fearless Records. Eric from I Prevail. Get your butt back to Australia. We miss you down here, man.
Hey, soon, very soon, we'll be back. I miss it. It's a second home to us. I can't believe we're on the other side of the world, but we love all the fans that have given us the time, been patient for us. We're so beyond grateful, and I can't wait to come back.